Hello and welcome to this video about our solar system. In this video, we will explore the amazing worlds that orbit our Sun, from the smallest and closest planet, Mercury, to the farthest and most mysterious, Neptune. We will also learn about some of the other objects that share our cosmic neighborhood, such as dwarf planets, asteroids, comets, and more. Let's begin our journey. The solar system is the name we give to the family of objects that are bound by the gravity of our star, the Sun. The Sun is the largest and most massive object in the solar system, containing more than 99% of its total mass. It is a huge ball of plasma, a state of matter where atoms are stripped of their electrons and form a hot, glowing gas. The Sun is the source of light and heat for all the planets and other bodies in the solar system. The planets are the most prominent members of the solar system, and they are divided into two groups, the inner planets and the outer planets. The inner planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. They are also called terrestrial planets, because they have solid, rocky surfaces. The outer planets are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. They are also called gas giants or ice giants, because they have thick atmospheres and no solid surface. They are much larger and more distant than the inner planets. Mercury is the smallest and closest planet to the Sun. It orbits the Sun in only 88 days, making it the fastest planet in the solar system. Mercury has no atmosphere, and its surface is covered with craters, mountains, and valleys. Mercury has extreme temperatures, ranging from -180 degrees Celsius at night to 430 degrees Celsius during the day. Mercury is currently being explored by NASA's Messenger spacecraft, which has been orbiting the planet since 2011. Venus is the second planet from the Sun, and the brightest object in the night sky after the Moon. Venus is sometimes called Earth's twin, because it is similar in size and mass to our planet. However, Venus is very different from Earth in other ways. Venus has a thick atmosphere of carbon dioxide, which traps heat and creates a greenhouse effect. The surface temperature of Venus is about 460 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt lead. Venus also rotates very slowly and in the opposite direction of most other planets, making its day longer than its year. Venus has been visited by many spacecraft, such as NASA's Magellan, which mapped the surface of the planet in the 1990s. Earth is the third planet from the Sun, and the only one known to support life. Earth has a thin atmosphere of nitrogen and oxygen, which allows us to breathe and protects us from harmful radiation. Earth also has a large moon, which stabilizes its rotation and causes tides. Earth's surface is mostly covered by water, which makes up about 71% of its area. Earth has diverse landscapes, such as mountains, deserts, forests, and oceans. Earth is home to millions of species of plants and animals, including humans. Earth is currently being explored by many satellites, such as NASA's Landsat, which monitors the changes in the environment. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun, and the second smallest in the solar system. Mars is often called the red planet, because of its rusty color, caused by iron oxide in its soil. Mars has a thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide, which makes it very cold and dry. The average temperature on Mars is about -60 degrees Celsius, and it can drop to -125 degrees Celsius at the poles. Mars has two small moons, Phobos and Deimos, which are thought to be captured asteroids. Mars has many interesting features, such as volcanoes, canyons, craters, and polar caps. Mars is the most explored planet in the solar system, with several rovers and orbiters currently active, such as NASA's Perseverance, which landed on Mars in 2021. Jupiter is the fifth planet from the Sun, and the largest and most massive in the solar system. Jupiter is a gas giant, which means it has no solid surface, but a thick atmosphere of hydrogen and helium. Jupiter has a powerful magnetic field, which generates intense storms and auroras. Jupiter also has a huge storm called the Great Red Spot, which is larger than Earth and has been raging for centuries. Jupiter has at least 79 moons, the four largest of which are Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto. These are called the Galilean moons, because they were discovered by Galileo in 1610. Jupiter also has a spectacular ring system, made of dust and debris. Jupiter is currently being explored by NASA's Juno spacecraft, which has been orbiting the planet since 2016. Saturn is the sixth planet from the Sun, and the second largest in the solar system. Saturn is also a gas giant, with a similar composition and structure to Jupiter. Saturn is famous for its magnificent rings, which are made of billions of ice and rock particles, ranging in size from dust to mountains. Saturn has at least 82 moons, the largest and most well-known of which is Titan. Titan is the only moon in the solar system with a thick atmosphere, which is mostly nitrogen and methane. Titan also has lakes and rivers of liquid hydrocarbons, such as ethane and propane. Saturn is currently being explored by NASA's Cassini spacecraft, which has been orbiting the planet since 2004. Uranus is the seventh planet from the Sun, and the third largest in the solar system. Uranus is an ice giant, which means it has a rocky core surrounded by a thick layer of ice and gas. Uranus has a very unique rotation. It spins on its side at an almost 90-degree angle, unlike other planets. This causes extreme seasons, where one pole faces the Sun for 42 years, while the other faces away. Uranus has a faint ring system, and at least 27 moons, the 5 largest of which are Miranda, Ariel, Umbriel, Titania, and Oberon. Uranus has not been visited by any spacecraft since NASA's Voyager 2, which flew by the planet in 1986. Neptune is the 8th and farthest planet from the Sun, and the 4th largest in the solar system. Neptune is also an ice giant, with a similar composition and structure to Uranus. Neptune has a very windy atmosphere, with the fastest winds in the solar system, reaching up to 2,100 km per hour. Neptune also has a giant storm called the Great Dark Spot, which is similar to Jupiter's Great Red Spot, but smaller and darker. Neptune has at least 14 moons, the largest and most famous of which is Triton. Triton is the only large moon in the solar system that orbits in the opposite direction of its planet, which suggests that it was captured from elsewhere. Triton also has geysers of liquid nitrogen, which form plumes and clouds in its thin atmosphere. Neptune has also not been visited by any spacecraft since NASA's Voyager 2, which flew by the planet in 1989. Beyond the planets, there are many other objects that orbit the Sun, such as dwarf planets, asteroids, comets, and more. Dwarf planets are objects that are large enough to be spherical, but not large enough to clear their orbits of other debris. The most famous dwarf planet is Pluto, which was once considered the 9th planet, but was reclassified in 2006. Pluto is located in the Kuiper Belt, a region of icy bodies beyond Neptune. Pluto has a thin atmosphere of nitrogen, carbon monoxide, and methane, which freezes and sublimates depending on its distance from the Sun. Pluto also has 5 moons, the largest of which is Charon. Pluto and Charon are tidally locked, which means they always face each other as they orbit. Pluto was visited by NASA's New Horizons spacecraft in 2015, which revealed many surprises about this small world. Asteroids are rocky or metallic objects that orbit the Sun, mostly in the asteroid belt, a region between Mars and Jupiter. Asteroids range in size from a few meters to hundreds of kilometers, and they are the remnants of the early solar system. Some asteroids have been visited by spacecraft, such as NASA's Dawn, which orbited the 2 largest asteroids, Ceres and Vesta, in the 2010s. Some asteroids also cross the orbit of Earth, and pose a potential threat of impact. NASA and other agencies are monitoring these near-Earth objects, and developing ways to deflect or destroy them if necessary. These are just some of the amazing objects that make up our solar system, and there are still many more to discover and explore. The solar system is a vast and diverse place, full of wonders and mysteries. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.